Hey, this is Greg, and today is another vlog of a country gentleman. Today we're going to be talking about bucking the system. Have you noticed that, our society has gotten to where it accepts a lot of things as normal that it didn't used to accept? And that's fine, that's not a problem. But at the same time, it started rejecting things that it used to think of were normal. Every time somebody tries to do something different, every time somebody tries to cut off on a new path, there's a backlash, there's a resistance amongst those that know you and you feel like they should support you. If somebody tries to get into herbal remedies, there's going to be the people who go, oh, there are people that if you talk about going into homesteading, that they just completely disconnect. If you're trying to create a more simple life, if you're trying to learn some of the old skills, if you're trying to develop something, there are people that, I knew somebody who did that back 47 years ago and they failed. Some of that, I'm sure, is out of legitimate concern, but some of it's out of fear of the unknown, fear of the unfamiliar. There are people out there that just flat out refuse the idea of homemade soap. When, if you think about it, not too awful long ago, if you had soap, it was homemade. There's always people trying to drag you back into their mold of what they think is socially acceptable. There was a story one time, and I don't remember where it came from, or I would give credit, where some scientists had some monkeys in a room, and they had placed a ladder in the center of the room and hung up a bunch of food up in the ceiling. And every time a monkey tried to climb up to get that fruit out of the ceiling, they would spray that monkey with a water hose. Eventually, all the monkeys tried, and all of them were sprayed, and they got to where they didn't try anymore. Well, they started replacing the monkeys in the room. And as soon as the new monkey came in, spotted the fruit in the ceiling, and started trying to go up there, the rest of the monkeys would drag them down and prevent them from trying to do it, and would convince the new monkey that it wasn't a good idea. Gradually, they replaced all of the monkeys to where none of the monkeys would try to climb to get the fruit in the ceiling, but none of the monkeys in the room had ever been sprayed. They didn't know why it was not allowed. They just knew that it wasn't allowed. In a lot of ways, I think that's true today. There are mega corporations that are doing everything that they can to prove to you that organic food is bad for you, and that all this food that's processed with chemicals and irradiated and processed, and it's the best for you. Now, I'm not diehard organic. I'm close, but I'm not. I don't see a problem with buying food from the grocery store. You got to be smart about it. You got to read labels. But unless you're at a position where you can grow all your own food, you're kind of stuck. But the same thing is true about anything. I know people that have decided that they wanted to be more prepared, and their family looked at them like they had sprouted a second head on their shoulders. Because it's so outside of the norm. Why are you storing all this food? It's only 10 days worth. It's not really that much. Whoa. We've become so dependent on everything that somebody who's trying to be independent seems strange. I'm not talking about a revolution here. I'm just talking about personal responsibility. And y'all all know, since you're watching this, y'all all know I'm real big into the foraging, the edible and herbal medicinal plants that are around us every single day. And there's a small percentage of the population that if I get started talking about that, they find it very interesting. They find it fascinating. There are some that really want to learn. There are some that go, I didn't know I knew anybody who was into that. And then there are others that they just think you're odd. And, I'm of the opinion that there's not a disease on this planet that there isn't a plant, herb, animal, mineral, something that it doesn't treat, and then by extension, if you catch it soon enough, cure. I really am. We just hadn't figured it out yet. And in all honesty, if we did figure it out, and if it was something simple, I think the pharmaceutical companies would squish it. Oh, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. And it gets on my nerves. Really bad. Because around us are so many opportunities, so many wonderful things that we ignore because of programming. And that just drives me nuts. When somebody tells me about whatever, oh, my kid's got diarrhea. Well, do you have this plant in your yard? You can make something that'll fix that. Oh, no, I'm going to take them to the doctor. Okay, that's fine. But if ever you step out of the realm of normalcy, then all of a sudden you're marked. You're marked in a positive way on one side and a very negative way on the other. That's an issue. Independence is independence to be weird. You don't ever hear me cutting down on anybody because I think they're doing stuff that's weird. Let me tell you something. There's a lot of stuff out there going on right now that I think is weird. But I don't have a right to stop them. I don't have a right to ridicule them. I have a right to speak my opinion. But at the end of the day, my opinion doesn't mean jack to them. And you know what? Their opinion don't mean jack to me. What is your journey? What are you trying to do? I'd like to know. Are you trying to buck the system in your own way? Are you trying to start a micro business, trying to be more prepared, trying to learn about herbals? I don't care what it is. I'd like to know your small way that you're having a revolution in your own life. Step by step, we're bringing rural back. Have a great day. Bye-bye.